You're listening to Amazing Radio. This is Amazing Afternoons. I'm delighted to say that in transit we have Johnny from Pet Needs on the line. Johnny, how you doing?
Yes, Frankie, I'm good, mate. How you doing, man?
I'm very well. You look like you're traveling. You said you're coming back from a festival. What was the gig you played at the weekend?
Yeah, so we played Insider on the West Coast, and we live on the East Coast, so we're just about to embark on the 4-hour drive back. But it was amazing. You know, these kind of sites festivals are kind of 1,000 cappers. Like the people that put them on just have such heart. And this one, especially the Insider Outsider team, the team called Fueled by Cider, do it. And genuinely, I think that I've done thousands of gigs now. I think it's one of the best gigs I've ever played in my whole entire life last night. It was so much fun.
Oh, that's amazing, especially when you're doing it with like-minded people, and there's a whole kind of real reason. You mentioned heart there, and there's heart in putting on a gig as a promoter. And as much as there is heart in expressing yourself through music, I've listened to the new album. I've had a sneaky listen,
Yeah.
right? I know it's been out for a couple of weeks, which is very exciting indeed. But I think there's a lot of heart in your records. There always has been, and this one, I think the lyrics are very direct and will speak to a lot more people. Was that intentional, Johnny?
I think it was kind of the whole thing was kind of autobiographical, and I was very aware that we'd started touring in the time that we wrote this album, and I didn't want to write just a kind of like life on the road kind of album like lots of bands do, which is kind of the easiest thing to do if you write what you know about. So I kind of wanted to write a love letter at home to Colchester in Essex, like to my wife and to our friends, to our pets and stuff, through the lens of being on the road. So it wasn't intentionally more direct, but I think because our life was so kind of instantaneous at the time, it's just a reflection of that.
No, I think, it will certainly connect to a lot of people who are of similar age, had similar life experience. But I think, musically as well, there's some great reference points in there. You still got that energy from what you had from what I heard on the first single I heard from you guys, which was only a couple of years ago. But you're quite
Yeah.
prolific. Would you say you were quite prolific as a band?
I think so. And this album, it almost wasn't meant to be written right now. Like we were meant to be releasing in September this year, so we're meant to be writing and recording it like now. But we had two really intense periods last year in January and in March of just intense creativity. And we sent demos to the label, and they were like, "Well, these are done. The album's ready. Let's go." And so we pushed everything forward. So we are prolific, but not intentionally, I don't think. I think it was as a result of just these two intense periods of creativity.
Was the process any different on this record? Did you work with any new people? Was the space different where you recorded? What was the story behind this album?
Yeah, 100%. So we recorded at a place called Vader Studios with a guy called George Perks, and it was the first time that we ever been to a residential place to record. So aside from our drum and bass player left once to get food, I think it was, we all just stayed there for the 2 weeks and we just lived and breathed the music. And it was incredible. And it's the first time that we've, kind of lived with a producer for a couple of weeks. And it was amazing to just be able to think about nothing but music. It was like such an honor, to be honest. I don't know if we'll ever do it again, but like, because like it was just such a one-off experience. But it was the best, and it just felt so special.
It's really funny that you should say that, because I did an interview last week with a band called Holiday Ghosts from Brighton, and they
Yeah,
said they did a residential similar to yourself in North Wales for 2 weeks. They lived with a producer in
cool.
a place, and they took all their gear there and they set up and they just lived the record, and they believe that they've
Yeah,
recorded their best record because of that. Just that the privilege of being able to dedicate your time and put all your energy into the record. I think
that's
it
it.
actually it shows through on the record as well.
Oh, that's so amazing. Thank you so much. That means a lot. It feels like it does. Like it literally, this is the record that we're most proud of. And I think, yeah, like you said, you can just kind of like live and breathe it for 2 weeks, think about nothing but it. And I think we just came out with something that's just so, it's just kind of progressive compared to what we've done before, but it also feels like it's completely kind of undiluted us as well.
Yeah, it definitely does feel like you. I think sonically though, it seems a little bit more it feels louder. It feels more polished somehow as well. I don't know if you've done something intentionally there, but it's definitely sonically it cuts through the guitar solos. Everything just sounds cleaner, but it's still really much it is your DNA as a band as well. I think it's beautifully bookmarked as well with the first and last track, "How We Are" and "Buried Together." Was that intentional as well? You must be a bit of a romantic when it comes to listening to records, because only people who listen to records in full would ever bookmark a record with a nice, poignant start and finish.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, like every time we write a record, we think about the final, and especially like the start and the finish, but also the halfway point as well. So we've got a song called "Lucid," which is the halfway point, and we always want to take people on that journey. But I think the first word that you say on a record and the last word that you say on a record are so essential for kind of creating the context. And it was, yeah, definitely intentional to start and finish with two that we thought were like especially poignant.
Yeah, well, they totally were, and they really, really, connected. So well done on
Oh,
that front
thanks
as
so
well.
much.
You've got a UK kind of in-store tour, haven't you, around the release, or certainly in February? Are you looking forward to that?
Yeah. Oh, I cannot wait. I cannot wait. Do you know what? Like, we did a tour last year of independent like breweries, which is really fun. We did like an acoustic tour, and I think in-store tour is going to be the same, where you just meet people that own independent businesses and are just so passionate about what they do and about building something about community. I think the kind of best energy are in those small spaces. So yeah, absolutely can't wait. There's some stores that we've been to before, but I think about 60% of the stores we've never been before. So yeah, super excited for it. It's gonna be so much fun.
And then you get into the venues proper, if you like, in April as well, around the UK, don't you?
Yeah, that's it. That's when the big tour happens, and that's when we're playing our biggest out of town show ever. We're doing the Underworld in Camden, which is a 500 capper, which is nuts to think, to be honest, because like about 3 years ago we couldn't sell like 50 tickets out of town. So to be able to do like the Underworld, like it's quite a romantic venue for me. Like I've been there many times, so like I'm super excited to play it.
No, I think you're going in the right direction. It's not often. Well, it kind of happens about once a month where I listen through to the records I get sent through on promo, and I've got a few friends who I think my friends would like this, and I've done it a couple of times
Yeah.
this last week, and one of them was with your record at the end of last week as well. So I honestly think you're going in the right direction. You seem to be getting bigger with every single as well. What else is up your sleeve for the rest of the year then?
So this is our first year of UK festivals, which is super exciting. We've been in America for the last two summers. We've just announced our first ever like major UK festival main stage down at Beautiful Days, which is super exciting. You have kind of things that you tick off when you're at like first time you release a final, first time you play a big room and stuff. And one thing we haven't done yet is a major festival main stage. So that's super exciting. And then it's just touring this record, to be honest, get it out to as many people as possible.
Oh, well, it's a great record, and it deserves to be toured, and it deserves people in front of you as well at those gigs. Johnny, thank you so much for joining us on the road, and we'll see you soon.
Ah, nice one. Thank you so much, Frankie. Cheers.